What's up, everybody? My name is Robert Blanchard. I am the author of The Roar of a Dragon, which will be available early next year by Rowan Vale Books. You like the shirt? Hashtag truth. Hashtag not. So today I wanted to tackle the 10 most common questions that authors are asked, and you would actually be surprised at how tough that was to find on Google. I got a lot of other things besides what I was looking for, but I did find a site on Examiner that had a list of questions for authors. So here we go. Question 1. Who are you? What do you do? My name is Robert Blanchard, and I write. No. Yes, of course, my name is Robert Blanchard. I do write, but I also have a couple YouTube channels, so that means I'm a producer, I'm an editor, I'm a sound guy. I am everything. I am everything in one package. Question 2. What is your writing process? Do you follow a regular routine? I don't know that I really have an actual writing process. I pretty much just write from the mind and have the story in my head, and I just kind of write what I see. It's not the most preferred method for an author, but that's what I do. So, and I don't have a regular routine. I used to have one. Now I'm struggling to put it back together because things are just falling apart. So, question 3. What are the most important elements of good writing? According to you, what tools are must-haves for authors? I think the most important elements of good writing is being honest and true to yourself and staying true to the story and the characters, and being able to connect with your readers. I mean, try not to get too complicated with it. It's a process, and you have to feel it too. You have to feel it yourself when you're writing, because if you're not feeling it, then no one else is going to feel it. So, it all comes from the heart, it all comes from the mind, and I think that's the best element of writing. As for tools, obviously you have to have a good imagination, and you have to be able to put that down on paper. Having a good imagination and, just following your story and following your characters wherever it goes, and I think that's extremely important if you want to write a good story. Question 4. What motivates you to write? Getting the story done? No, I'm just kidding. I think what motivates me to write is I love creating things. I like to create a world and characters in it and a story, and when you finally get to the end, when you finally finish that first book, there's just this amazing sense of accomplishment. You've created a world that exists in your head and will someday exist in your readers' heads as well. So I think that's the coolest thing about writing, and that's what motivates me to get there. Question 5. Do you ever suffer from writer's block? If so, what do you do about it? I don't think there's a single writer alive that doesn't suffer from writer's block at some point or another. I used to just step away from writing for a while. That's what I did with The Roar of a Dragon. I would step away for like a year if I had to. At that point I was still in the process of taking myself seriously as an author, and it would be a while before I came back to it, but I eventually would, and something would just click in my head and I'd go through it. But now I just write through it, and that's advice given by Jenna Moresi, which I'll cover later. But yeah, just write through it. Just keep on writing, and it'll come to you. Question 6. Do you have any advice for other writers? Stick with it. Don't give up. Do not give up. It's very easy to get discouraged, and it's very easy to get overwhelmed, and especially in a writer's block, and maybe you put yourself on a deadline, and maybe you're trying to write a certain amount of words per day, but any progress is good progress. And especially on the first draft, this is something I really learned. Just stick with it and don't give up. Stay true to yourself, stay true to your story, and you will get there. Question 7. What is the message in your book? What are your readers' reactions to it? The message in The Roar of a Dragon is about friendship. It's about the friendship between the main character Aiden and the dragon Iskandar. I think it's very important, especially for someone like Aiden who's known a lot of death in his life. And he's kind of a hotshot. He's kind of feeling angry, and Iskandar kind of keeps him grounded, and Aiden kind of realizes how important their relationship is. So, yeah, that's kind of the message in this book. I'm working on the sequel right now, which is going to be more geared toward love, so I don't want to give a whole lot away, but yeah, that's the message. As far as readers' reactions to it, I just got a proof copy. It's kind of making its way on the rounds right now to my friends. The first 3 chapters are available on BlanchardRobert72.wix.com if you want to check it out. I don't really have a lot of reactions to it yet, but I will soon. Question 8. Did you learn anything from writing your book, and what was it? I learned that the most important part of writing the first draft is just writing it. That's it. Because when I was writing The Roar of a Dragon, I was so focused on making every sentence perfect. I mean, I would spend a lot of time trying to figure out how to word it and how to have it right on the, when I finish the first draft, I'm like, this is the book right here. But that's not the case. When you're writing the first draft, just write it. Just write. Because you're going to end up editing it anyways. You're going to end up changing things. And you're going to edit it a million times. It's going to get repetitive. It's going to suck. But that is what is going to happen. So you just got to deal with it. I also learned writing the book is absolutely the easy part. Because now when you get to editing and marketing and promoting and stuff like that, yeah, that's you're going to wish you were writing, no matter how much you hated it the first time. Question 9, what are your current future projects? For current projects, I have a series on Chanillo.com called Hood. It's about a teenage boy who's homeless and all by himself and alone, and he one day he decides that his life is worthless and he's going to end it, but circumstances change and he ends up becoming kind of a crime fighter in his city. So he's a homeless teen crime fighter. I enjoy that series a lot, and I'm getting really into it, so I'm interested to see where it goes. For future projects, I have a story called All We Have Left. It's about America and an apocalyptic state due to civil war and revolution, the government against the people, and it's about a group of teenagers trying to survive that. So that's a story I've been wanting to write for quite some time, and I started it during NaNoWriMo. That was my project, and now I'm looking forward to see where that goes too. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see a group of teenagers surviving in this hellish world. Question 10, what books/authors have influenced your life and writing? I have read almost all of the Dragonlance series. Well, I can't say almost all, but I've read a lot of the Dragonlance books by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. They were a heavy influence in my writing and my life, and so kudos to those guys for just crafting an amazing world and an amazing series. Also, S.D. Perry's Resident Evil series really influenced me too. That was really the first series of books that I really got into. Obviously, it's based on the video games Resident Evil, so if you're a fan of that game, just check it out. It's definitely worth it. It's a good series. And also, I have to honestly say that Sherilyn Kenyon is a heavy influence in the current way I write, and she kind of taught me through reading her books how to write a young adult series, how to connect with a younger audience through your writing. So when I was writing The Roar of a Dragon, I was trying to make things all complicated, and I had to use big words and stuff like that, and yeah, it doesn't work that way. So that does it for the list of questions. If you have comments or if you have questions that you want answered, you can leave them in the comments below. Before I go, I want to give a quick shout out to some author friends that I have made on Twitter or on Google Plus or whatever. These are all just people that have retweeted some of my things or shared some of my things, and I've talked to them a little bit, and I just want to give some props to them. First of all, J.C. Brennan, author of the Fine Line series. It's 2014 and 2015 Pinnacle Book Award for Best Fiction, and also the 2015 New Apple Book Awards, available on Amazon.com. She has a website, which will be linked below. She has been just great at retweeting my stuff, and I talked to her a little bit, and we try to help each other out, so I really appreciate that. Also, Kay Gardner, she writes poetry on Chanillo.com. When I first got on Chanillo, she was one of my first supporters, and she subscribed to my series, and she's really behind it, and I really appreciate that. She retweets everything I put on about Hood, so yeah, that's really cool. Mistral Dawn, who I recently just connected with on Google+. She's the author of a Spellbound Heart series, available on Amazon.com. She has a site on Blogspot, which I will link below. KK Allen, author of the Summer Solstice series. She has a website, kk-allen.com. Jenna Moresi, of course, who has been a major influence in the way I see writing and the process, and she's really kind of changed the game for me a little bit, so I appreciate that. She's the author of Eve the Awakening, available on Amazon.com. She also, like I said earlier, has a channel on YouTube where she gives a lot of great writing advice. So if you're an aspiring writer and you want to know this or that, check out her channel, check out her playlists. She probably has the answers for you. She's really, really smart. And last but certainly not least, John Darrell Winston, who I connected with on Twitter. He's the author of IA Initiate. That's going to eventually become a series. It's available on Amazon.com. He connected, like I said, we connected through Twitter, and we've talked a little bit, and we've kind of retweeted and shared certain things. So that was really cool of him to connect with me and do all that. So yeah, that's it. And that'll do it for this episode. Like I said, if you have questions you want answered or anything, leave it in the comments below. Visit my website, blanchardrobert72.wix.com/otherworlds. buy The Roar of a Dragon when it comes out next year. It'll be published by Rowan Vale Books. If you like what you see on this channel, you can subscribe, and you can also subscribe to my other channel, Be Thriller Productions, where I do more crazy, funny stuff, try to put a smile on people's faces. And that'll do it. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys later. Bye. So today I thought I'd... No. As for current projects, I have a series on Chanel.com, but for future projects, I have this damn microphone. She has a site on blight and that'll do it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will